And Chad joins us now for a look at sports. What's happening today?
Well, Blazers are on the road. They don't play until tomorrow in Edmonton.
That's right.
Defending Memorial Cup champion should be quite the test, especially the way they're playing. They did beat them 6-2 earlier in the season, but not playing as good now.
That's
We're
true.
also going to look at the City Basketball Championships. The Fulton Cup is next week. Starts next week. We'll preview that. And some changes in Lethbridge coming down today.
Okay.
We'll talk to you about that coming up in sports. City's high school basketball championships tip off next week. The 2014 Fulton Cup featuring the best high school teams in Kamloops and around the region. It's a tournament every player circles on their calendar. And with no more AA championships in Kamloops, the Fulton Cup is the undisputed #1 tournament in town. The players may seem friendly now, a week before the start of the Fulton Cup, but that won't last long once the ball is tipped off next Wednesday. It's fierce competition as the city's best go at it.
It's just a chance to see how you stack up against everyone in the city, and you get all the old alumni from schools coming back and watching the games. And so, to me, it's really cool that the whole basketball community basically just comes back together for this one tournament.
Everyone's watching you, and it's just like you want to play well, so it's really like when you hit a shot, like the whole crowd just goes crazy. It's fun.
The stands are going to be filled with all the fans, and it's a big game to everybody. Everyone comes out to watch it. It gets pretty exciting.
For many of the players competing, especially ones from Valley View, Westside, and St. Anne's who don't get to play against all the Kamloops schools during the year, it's an opportunity to match up against the best from around the region.
That you get to see all the teams, and now going into senior, the only team that we compete against is Westside, so we don't get to compete against the teams like Sahali and Norcam and South Cam that we'd normally like to, but this is a good tournament that we can kind of all compete together.
We'll most likely be the underdogs, but hopefully we can just work hard and do the best we can and hopefully compete with all the other teams that are in here.
The favorites on both sides of the senior bracket are AAA schools South Cam, Norcam, and Sahali. They've been playing against better competition all year. But organizer Will Blair says that doesn't mean the double and single A teams will roll over.
We might see a little bit more of a difference between the level of the teams, but I think it's just that they don't see each other as often because they aren't in the same league. I think the competition will still be there.
Really, more than any other year, it's a wide open field. And on the boys' side, outside of the big three of South Cam, Norcam, and Sahali, the AA Valley View Vikes could make some noise.
Valley View senior boys are a well-coached team, and they got a lot of size. Their junior team was very strong last year, so they'll be a good team.
We came first last year, and the juniors came first the year before. So I'd like to come top 3 maybe, would be nice.
The Fulton Cup starts next Wednesday, December 17th and runs until Friday the 19th with the junior and senior finals. Blazers, meantime, are on the road set to begin the longest road trip of their season with 6 games away from the ISC before the Christmas break and 2 following. Kamloops are in Edmonton tomorrow night to face off against the defending Memorial Cup champion Oil Kings, who they beat 6-2 at Rexall Place in early October. The Blazers then head to southern Alberta on Thursday for a date with the Red Deer Rebels before back-to-back Saturday and Sunday against the Calgary Hitmen and Lethbridge Hurricane. Head coach Don Hay says after a lackluster 5-game homestand that saw them just get 2 points out of a possible 10, it'll be good to get away.
Well, it is a good time because, we just haven't been playing well here at home. And this, we were really looking forward to this 5-game homestand, and to come out of there with just 2 points, not the way that we wanted.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Don even talked about it in the post game. He said it's time we get on the road and bond, like I said, and get out of Kamloops and try to get some hard-fought wins on the road. And they don't have to be pretty, just battle away and hopefully get some 1 or 2 goal games going.
One of the Blazers' opponents on that 6-game road trip, the Lethbridge Hurricanes, axed their head coach today. Drake Berehowski was fired by the club after another awful start to the year that has the Hurricanes at the bottom of the Eastern Conference with only 6 wins in 29 games. The 42-year-old Toronto native was in his 2nd season in Lethbridge and leaves with a dismal record of 19-74-9 during a season and a half behind the bench. No word on a replacement. Meantime, former Blazer Jordan DePape, now in his second season at the University of Manitoba, will have the honor of donning the Team Canada jersey for the second time in his hockey career. DePape has been named to Canada's men's hockey team for the World University Games set to take place February 4th to the 14th in Granada, Spain. In his first year last year with Manitoba, he put up 24 points, good for third in rookie scoring. This year, he's picked up right where he left off with 8 goals and 9 assists in the first 18 games. DePape was the captain of Team Canada West at the 2009 World Under-17 Hockey Challenge. Over to the NFL, a season after a collarbone injury sidelined him for 7 games, Aaron Rodgers is back and making a darn good case as the best quarterback in the National Football League. In his 100th start last night, Rodgers threw for 327 yards and now has the most yards thrown by any quarterback in their first 100 starts. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, the best team in the NFC, hosting the Falcons last night. Second quarter, Packers up 24-7. Rodgers showing his mobility, steps away from the pressure, slings one to the back of the end zone. There's Jordy Nelson for a 10-yard score, and it's turning into a rout. Atlanta does make a game of it in the fourth quarter, but it's Rodgers again. This time he goes deep. Another connection with Jordy Nelson for the 60-yard touchdown. The TD bomb puts Rodgers past Tony Romo with 27,520 yards in his first 100 starts. Carolina Panthers quarterback Cam Newton is in hospital after a car accident in Charlotte this morning. The crash happened a block away from the Panthers stadium, and the team says Newton has 2 fractures in his lower back and will remain in hospital overnight for observation. The injury suffered to Newton is the same back injury that Dallas Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo suffered earlier this season, but there's no word on his status and whether he'll be ready to play Sunday at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We do know who will be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns on Sunday. It's Johnny Football. Johnny Manziel will get his first NFL start for this weekend's crucial AFC showdown with the Cincinnati Bengals. The Browns are a game and a half behind Cincinnati for the division lead, and Cleveland head coach Mike Pettin felt that change was needed under center. Brian Hoyer has struggled this season, highlighted by Sunday's performance in a 25-24 loss when he completed just 14 of 31 passes with 2 picks and no touchdowns. Manziel, meanwhile, has been one of the most hyped players coming into the year, taken 22nd overall by the Browns in the 2014 draft. But in his rookie year, his snaps have been limited, only coming off the bench in relief. Turf or grass? That's the question. The debate over which is better for athletes is back in the spotlight, thanks to a former Toronto Blue Jay.
When you're an athlete, injuries are bound to happen.
I would rather play on turf just because of the flat surface, no divots, nothing uneven, so I wouldn't get injured in that sense.
There is an ongoing debate on whether injuries are increased on artificial surfaces versus grass. Blue Jays former third baseman Brett Lowry recently spoke about Toronto's unforgiving turf after being traded to the Oakland A's.
I really feel like getting off that AstroTurf, getting off that turf is going to do wonders for my body. Makes my body feel makes me throw me out of whack, more or less.
There may be some merit to that. A study published in the American Journal of Sports Medicine looked at injury rates on grass and field turf in NFL games.
We looked at ankle and knee sprains and injuries, and what we found was that the ankle injuries and knee injuries were elevated by 22% versus the grass surface.
Dr. Kurt Spindler admits the studies are difficult. In fact, another study on soccer fields completed by Virginia Tech found almost no differences. So why the debate?
It may be that the nature of the surface, because it's softer, maybe a little bit more spongy, requires a little bit more energy when you're playing on turf versus grass.
Toronto and Tampa Bay are the only baseball stadiums that still use turf. A new turf, AstroTurf 3D Extreme, is being installed in Toronto in the new year.
We could feel it underfoot, and we can see it in the game.
So as you can see, the old turf is made up of sand and rubber crumbs, and because the turf had to be rolled up for various events, the mixture would compact and over time get hard.
the fibers that consist of AstroTurf, or it's a little different. Then we're going to eliminate the sand mixture and just put in rubber, and we're going to go with a larger crumb size. So we're hoping that creates more buoyancy and it'll be much lighter.
Real grass may replace this in 2018. So will the new turf make a difference? Jays won't know until players hit the field next spring.
If you have a comment or story idea for sports, contact us at sports@cfjctv.com. I can be followed on Twitter @ClassN87, and you can get sports on demand at cfjctv.com.